another recipe of the week, and this week we're going to be having gluten-free focaccia. So I made this recipe last night and everybody loved it, didn't you? Wasn't it the best? My husband was going crazy for it. There was not a morsel of this left. Everybody ate everything up. It was amazing, and I'm making it again tonight so I could share it with you guys. And I want it again too because it was really, really good. And it's really simple. You can make it gluten-free. You can make it not gluten-free. You can use the gluten-free flour mixture that you buy at the store, or you can make your own like I do. So what I do is I make a big jar, for lack of a better word. This is like 2 gallons, I would think, of flour mixture. I'll leave the recipe in the down bar, and you could check out if you want to make your own flour mixture, or you could just buy a flour, you know, cup by cup substitute one. So there's only a few ingredients, and that's flour, sugar, salt, yeast, warm water, and a really nice olive oil of your choice. Also, whatever toppings you decide to put on top is up to you. Last night we had rosemary and pecorino romano on top with some salt. Very delicious. But you could also put any type of cheese that you would want on there. You don't have to put the salt if you are watching your sodium intake. So be creative. You can put whatever you want. Put a little tomato on there. Whatever. So let's get started. Alright, so the first step that you want to do is proof your yeast. Whenever you work with yeast, you want to make sure that it's still alive. Otherwise, you're going to be in for a not nice surprise at the end whenever you bake something and it doesn't rise. It's very sad. So in the KitchenAid mixer, you don't have to do it in the KitchenAid mixer, it just makes it a whole lot easier. I have a 1.5 cups of warm water, and to that I'm going to add 1 tablespoon and 1/2 of rapid rise yeast. So what you want to do is just let that combine a little bit and check back in about 5 minutes, and it should be nice and foamy. Alright, so it's only been a minute and you can already see that the yeast has started to, I don't know, breed. It gets all, you know, it starts multiplying, so fermenting, if you will. And I'm ready to add the rest of my ingredients. That's all that you have to see, is that the yeast is starting to get foamy. You don't have to wait like 5 or 10 minutes or even 15 minutes. You just, when you see it come to this stage, you say, oh, it's alive. So now you want to add 5 tablespoons of a good quality olive oil, 1.5 teaspoons of salt of your choice. I'm using some rosemary flakes because it's going to add a little bit more flavor. And also a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. So get all those in there and start to mix it up, and then we'll put the flour in. Alright, so I started mixing it up. Here's the flour, 3 1/4 cups. If you're making this gluten-free, prepare for it to be wet, because that's how gluten-free baking is. The breads are more of a batter than they are of like an actual bread dough. If you're using regular flour, it's going to be, you know, like a pizza, pizza type dough. It's going to be firmer. But you want to add at least like 1/3 of the flour at a time. Don't just dump the whole thing in there, because you're going to get a cloud of flour in your face. And I forgot to tell you guys, make sure you don't make your warm water too hot, because that, if it's above 110, 120 degrees, it's actually going to kill the yeast. So make sure your water is, you know, like it feels comfortable when if you were to hold it in your hand. Like it's not like burning hot like a cup of coffee. So just, you know, you'd say, ah, that's pretty good. So let's get the flour in there, then I'll show you what to do. Alright, so there it is. I just took it out of the mixing bowl, and you could see that it's a soft, like a Play-Doh type consistency dough. If it's a little too wet, you could sprinkle some rice flour or some of the flour substitute that you use to actually make it on there. It shouldn't really stick too much to your hands, so you just press it out onto the pan of your choice. I like to use a pizza pan because that's what fits nicely in my toaster oven, and I'm going to make this in my toaster oven. Totally optional. You can add some expandex about a teaspoon, or you could add some xanthan gum or guar gum. It'll just help with the texture a little bit to make it more like real bread. Well, I shouldn't say real bread because it is real bread, but like wheat bread. Also, you could experiment with some, I haven't tried it yet, but you could probably experiment with a little ground flaxseed meal, because when that's added to hot water, like you could take a portion of the water, maybe a quarter of a cup, and pop that in the microwave and put the ground flaxseed meal in there, and that is kind of like, it makes like a gelatin type thing, and that will probably help a lot with the texture as well. I'll probably try that the next time that I actually make this. So when I get this all pressed out, I'm going to put a coating of olive oil on the top, and I'm going to let it rise for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then I'm going to put the rest of my toppings on here, and then I'll show you how to bake it. Alright, so Mark's helping me film now because I want to be able to show you this part. The seasonings I'm going to be putting on are down here. I've got a fresh sprig of rosemary, I've got my beautiful rosemary sea salt, and my pecorino romano. So if you want to use rosemary, the way that you do this is you go against the grain and you pull the rosemary needles off against the grain. You know, against the direction that they grow, you know, like when you shave. Don't shave with it. Don't shave with the grain. Alright, so we can put our rosemary on here. If you don't want big pieces, you can kind of mush it up a little bit. If your bread is soaked up all the olive oil and you want more olive oil on the top, go ahead and add it. I don't think we really need it. So you don't want too big of clumps, because then people will say, I didn't really like that Christmas tree bread at their house.
Yeah, it was a little chewy.
It was?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I liked it. That's all that
Do you
matters.
wash it first?
I did already.
Okay.
Alright, so now I'm going to just put a little bit of the flake salt on top. You can use kosher salt. I wouldn't recommend using table salt on top because it will taste very, very salty. Then, for the pièce de la résistance, the Romano.
Yeah, you held it up and got out of the shot.
Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't block out the camera shots before we filmed, so I was confused.
Yeah.
Alright, so when you put as much cheese as you want on there, you're going to want to pop that in your oven at 375 for about half an hour, possibly 35 minutes. So we'll check back when that comes out of the oven. Alright guys, there's the result. It just came out of the oven, and it's actually the next day. The first one that I made yesterday, last night, did not get filmed. I thought it was being filmed, but it wasn't, so I got up this morning and I mixed it up in like 10 minutes. It's really easy to make, so I hope you try it. It tastes amazing. I'll taste it on camera for you. Very good. 2 thumbs up. I'm holding the camera with the other thumb. So, until next time, much love.